Welcome back to our last standard Tempo Storm deck introduction for the Witchwood meta. Remember to subscribe to the channel for deck guides and meta content for the Boomsday. And with that said, let's get right into introducing Miracle Rogue. This deck has been around for ages and always seems to find a way back into the meta. The general game plan of Miracle Rogue is to apply pressure in the early turns and then close out the game with burst damage. The deck features a lot of card draw, in Elven Minstrel to draw minions, or either a Sprint or a Gadgets and Auctioneer package to draw a lot of cards at once. Miracle Rogue has gone through many different types of playstyles, from running Shadow Steps alongside Leroy for burst, or to currently running more minions such as Henchclan Thug and Faldoray Strider to apply more early game pressure. The list we're featuring here in this introduction is Naviut's list. Navi originally hit top 100 legend on the North American server using this last season, and several other players went on to hit high ranks with it as well. Miracle Rogue features early game minions, spells to interact with the board or burn your opponent, and cycle. The card that defines the Miracle archetype is typically Gadgets and Auctioneer, but in this case is substituted for Sprint. Sprint is here in place of Auctioneer due to the explosiveness that can come from playing it alongside Preparation. The deck plays several different minions that it uses to contest the board and get in early damage. Firefly is a powerful one-drop, and it also works very well alongside Cold Blood, allowing for the rogue to get a large minion board early to pressure their opponent. The Flame Elemental that Firefly generates is also really good to use in conjunction with Rogue's combo cards such as SI7 Agent or Vilespine Slayer. Edwin Vancleef is another very powerful tool that Miracle Rogue has to use. By generating a large minion early, the rogue forces his opponent to have the removal for it or essentially lose the game. Henchclan Thug is a card that was released with the Witchwood that can have a very explosive impact if left unanswered. By developing a dagger with their hero power on turn 2 and then playing Henchclan Thug the following turn, the opponent is in a position where they need to stop the minion from snowballing before it gets out of control. SI7 Agent is a decently statted minion that can also be comboed to either help interact with our opponent's board or push face damage. Elven Minstrel acts mostly as draw, and not as a threat due to its stat line. Being able to draw only minions using its combo effect allows for us to narrow down what we're drawing and thins our deck to make our other cycle cards stronger. Leroy Jenkins is mostly used to burn out our opponent and has really strong synergy with some of the spells in our deck such as Shadow Step and Cold Blood. Vilespine Slayer is an extremely powerful minion that provides an extremely large tempo swing by not only developing our own minion, but also removing one of theirs. Finally, the new tech that Naviut has made popular is the addition of Mossy Horror. Mossy Horror has an okay statted body, but has a very powerful battle cry that can help swing a matchup against Token Druid or Odd Paladin. Some of the best boards to remove with this would be ones from Spreading Plague or token boards from Paladin prior to level up. Backstab is a spell that has primarily two uses, removing your opponent's minions and acting as a combo activator. Being priced at 0 mana allows you to do both jobs very well. Preparation is another card with more than one purpose. It's mostly used to cheat out spells earlier than intended, having strong synergy with our more expensive spells, but it can also be used solely for the combo activation due to it being 0 mana. The list also runs one Shadow Step to allow us to get more value out of minions' battle cries, such as Faldoray Strider, or using it alongside Leroy Jenkins to allow for more burst damage. Cold Blood is typically used to make our minions stronger for burst damage, but can also be used to enable better trades with our minions. Eviscerate is a very powerful card, allowing you to choose whether to use it for direct damage to your opponent or to use it to remove your opponent's minions, solidifying your board lead. Another spell that Miracle Rogue knows very well is Sap. Sap has been featured in most Miracle Rogue lists as it allows the rogue to completely ignore a play that their opponent made by returning it to their hand. Shiv is another card that's mostly included due to it being cheap cycle, but on some occasions, the one damage it provides can help remove your opponent's minions. Fan of Knives is another versatile spell that helps both with clearing the board and drawing cards. The card is especially strong against token-based decks like Odd Paladin. Finally, the last spell this deck features is Sprint. As stated previously, Miracle Rogue typically runs Gadgets and Auctioneer, but in this case has chosen to run Sprint over it. The reasoning for this is that Sprint has extremely powerful synergies with Faldoray Strider and Preparation. Now that Miracle Rogue has turned into more of a minion-focused deck, being able to cheat out the spider ambushes early allows for more frequent board swings. One of the reasons Miracle Rogue is so strong is that it has the ability to get out of most situations. With access to so much card draw, Miracle Rogue can always find an advantage where most decks tend to struggle. As long as you're aware of your win condition in every matchup, you'll be able to find a way to give yourself the highest % chance to win each game. Against aggressive decks, you should look for cards that can help deal with the board or help swing the game in your favor. Aggro decks have always been the hardest decks for Miracle Rogue to deal with, due to Rogue's natural lack of healing and other defense mechanisms. Cards to look out for in these matchups are Backstab, Fan of Knives, and Firefly. If your hand supports it, never hesitate to keep cards that would help you generate a large Edwin Vancleef, as aggro decks struggle immensely to deal with it. Against fast decks, you want to try to find swing turns to develop your minions while removing theirs. These turns typically involve a combination of cards such as Edwin Vancleef, Fan of Knives, Backstab, or other minions. Against slower decks, you want to be mulliganing more for cards that can blow out the game. Cards such as Falderay Strider, HenchClan Thug, and Edwin Vancleef are all cards that apply pressure and require answers, which make them very good against decks with slower game plans. If you have preparation, don't hesitate to keep Sprint in these matchups, as a huge card advantage can be game-winning on its own. Your general game plan in these matchups is to apply as much pressure as you can in order to get them within range of your burst damage. Try to maximize chip damage with your minions by using cards such as Sap or Vilespine Slayer to interact with their board. When facing Shudderwalk Shaman, one thing that's very important to make note of is the total health of your minions on the board. Always try to space threats out in such a way that your board's total health is greater than 15, as this will help you beat Volcano. Try to keep this in mind throughout the matchup, especially before drawing cards if you have a lot of spider ambushes in deck. Miracle Rogue is a very versatile deck that can adapt to any game and always sneak out of bad spots. The deck has been around for a very long time, and unless its key cards are Hall of Famed, it's unlikely it'll ever cease to exist in Standard. Thank you for watching this deck introduction series. We hope you learned a lot about Miracle Rogue and can use it to your advantage in the last few days of the Witchwood. Make sure to subscribe and stay up to date with all of our upcoming Hearthstone videos. We'll see you next time!